If you are a subject matter expert, a personal brand, or a product brand, hold up. Before you ever start pitching to the media or looking to secure press coverage for your brand, I want to go over 3 visibility tips before you even send that first email looking for coverage for your product, for your business, for your brand, for your expertise. And if you're new here, my name is Bridget Cisco. I am the co-founder of Visibility on Purpose. We help small business owners, founders, as well as product brands get featured in the media without being a celebrity, without paying an arm and a leg, without having a huge budget. We teach you how to do this yourself or even train a member of your team. Highly recommend training a team member. I mean, come on. The 3 things I'm going to share today are the things that most people skip, and it's why they hear crickets after they are sending their pitches. So let's make sure that that is not you. The first part here is to clean up your digital real estate. We like to call it your digital real estate. So anything with your brand's name on the internet that you owned, your owned media channel, there are 3 different types of media channels. There is paid media, there is owned media, and there is earned media. Paid media is more of an advertisement. Owned media is the channels that you own where you hold the microphone and you go, hi, like I'm Bridget, and you are the one behind the screen being able to send that post or type something onto your website. It is you. And then there's earned media, which is what we're teaching you how to do. That is a podcast interview, a TV interview. It's an exchange for value or your product or your service for the media because they need it too. They need your story, they need your information, they need your expertise, they might even need your product in a product roundup. And that first impression, it's like that first time you ever meet someone, it does matter. So when someone Googles you or your brand or your name, or if they click on your Instagram after seeing your pitch, they should know exactly who you are and what you do or what your product does within seconds. It should be super, super clear. This might not be the time to have, a million pictures of your dog all over your Instagram and nothing about your business or your product. We did a training for a group of startup product companies the other day, and one of the things that we really talked about is that digital real estate and making sure that when people land on your profiles online, it is very clear what you do. And this is something that is, kind of low-hanging fruit. There's low barrier to entry. You can sign up on Instagram. It's free, right? So just make sure that it looks professional. Use Canva. There are so many great tools these days where you can make a professional page with minimal to no money. And it's such a simple way to get started. So making sure that when people Google your brand, your name, it is professional information that comes up, professional photos, all of that. Now, for subject matter experts, so say that you're a chiropractor, a physical therapist, or a photographer, and you're looking to get press coverage, make sure your LinkedIn bio is current, your title is very clear, and make sure that your content aligns with your area of expertise. Because it's likely if you are sending these pitches, let's remember how the media works. I've done so many videos on this, so just click up here if you'd like to learn more about those videos and how it works. Timely, relevant, and newsworthy. So you have writers, you have producers, you have anchors, you have podcast hosts who are looking to produce content, and they might just need your expertise to finish that story on, the top 5 stretches for women postpartum. There you go. There's our example today. So you want to make sure that if you are looking for coverage around you as an expert, you are putting out content related to that already, because it's almost like you're being vetted online these days, especially when you're sending pitches. They need to make sure they have an expert and that you are the expert. Now, for a product-based brand, if you have a website or social media accounts, it should be very, very clear what you sell, a little bit more about your mission, maybe your ingredients, maybe your methodology of creating that product, maybe behind the scenes content, because we need to make sure that, hey, that product looks good. And product PR is a little bit different. It's a whole affiliate model. So if you need more information on that, feel free to shoot us an email or comment below, and we can start making some videos on product PR, which is a little bit different than founder coverage or, business brand subject matter expert coverage. Okay, visibility tip number 2. Making sure that you are media ready. So having assets. We always recommend our clients to have some sort of media folder, a press folder, where you can have professional headshots, where if you are a product company, you have professional images on a white background. So it looks really nice because say Mind Body Green is going to be doing an article on top 5 calendula salves in 2025, and they want to place your product in that lineup and that roundup of the top 5 calendula salves in 2025, you need to have proper photos done of your product. So that is worthwhile. Honestly, our phones these days are so great that you could probably get your phone to take a great picture if you are super bootstrapped and on a budget. You also want a short Even a long version of your bio, I think, is helpful to have, whether it's on your website. Usually your pitch is going to have some sort of bio so that that writer or that podcast host can learn a little bit more about you. And we tend to call this a brand positioning statement here at Visibility and Purpose. So it positions you in your marketplace and differentiates you from, the chiropractor next door or the calendula salve company next door. You want to link to your website or to your press page, like show that writer or that podcast host you do this. Then you're kind of already, and you've already been vetted. It makes it way easier for you to be chosen than to be a great source or product for their roundup or their article. And all of this matters is because journalists and podcast hosts, they are busy. They're not going to want to get that information from you after the fact. So give them everything they need now. And if I've learned anything from my business partner, Lydia Bagarosa, who's been a publicist for over a decade, she talks about this a lot. Make that journalist job a lot easier because it makes it easier for them to say yes to you if you give them what they need ahead of time, right? So you give them the credit line. That's what they're going to tag you as, put next to your name when they are linking you in an article. You give them your website so that you can get that backlink, which is really important also. And I've done videos on backlinks as well. Important. And as always, if this feels overwhelming, we can walk you through this. We have a personalized PR strategy plan that we can do for you. It is extremely affordable, and we basically are going to take a look at your business. You're going to fill out an intake form for us, and we will write a pitch, a subject line, and give you just like some direction on where, if we were your publicist, where we would take your business, like where to start. It's a great starting point for your company if you're new to this world or you're looking to outsource this to a team member or do it yourself. And last but not least, the most important thing here is clarifying your message. So I've done videos on what not to do in a pitch, right? It's not really a resume. It's not a press release. It is an angle that can help that writer, that reporter, that podcast host write a story on or produce content on. And you have to be thinking from that lens. So we want it to be timely, relevant, newsworthy, interesting. We want to have a good hook. We want to share something of interest with that person. That's going to make it, again, easier for them to say yes to us. So thinking about a couple of things, what do you want to be known for? What do you do differently? What does your product do different? What is your unique story angle that no one can really duplicate? How can you provide a story angle that really supports what that writer might already be writing about? What topics do you feel ready to speak about on camera? And for subject matter experts and personal brands, we recommend having a couple of bullet points, like here's some of my talking points. And, even if your pitch overall isn't about that, we've actually found that people will get interviewed on some of those talking points. So it's really helpful. Again, giving that contact, just making their day a lot easier. We love that, right? We love that. And here's an example of this for both a product brand and a subject matter expert. So say you have a skincare line. Instead of just pitching about like natural beauty, which has really been done before, what if you go with a little bit of a deeper example? And I wrote it down here so that I can share with you all. So female founded skincare line that's using seaweed from Maine. So it's very, very specific. Like no one else can insert their brand into that unless they're doing the exact same thing, which is likely that they're not. Or if you're a subject matter expert, instead of just being, a physical therapist, because there are lots of physical therapists, you would maybe talk about your nervous system work and how that also supports the physical aspects to physical therapy. Just like adding something and being really clear on your message. And remember that clarity is confidence for the person reading your pitch. They need to immediately understand what it is that you do, why you do it, and why they're a fit for their audience. So at the end of the day, before you pitch press, making sure that we have these three things down pat. Digital real estate, like go take a look at your website, go take a look at your socials. Is it professional? Ask a friend. Ask a friend and say, hey, is it very clear what I do and what I'm doing? Ask a friend. Number two, having your digital assets and your media assets ready, those photos, headshots, one-liners, credit lines, all of that. Number three, clarifying your message. All of this is going to be super important before you ever press send on your media pitch to get coverage. When these things are in place, we just find that you're going to have a much easier time going forward. You're going to be more prepared. You're going to help the writer or the reporter out. It's going to make their job and their life easier. Therefore, they might be more willing to work with you in the future as well. And again, it does come down to relationships. So this stuff is amazing. If you want help getting all of this ready, as I mentioned before, we have personalized PR plans, like drop a comment. I'll leave the link in the description of the video. You can reach out to us if you'd like. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. We do have this goal of having 1,000 subscribers on our channel. So if you're watching this and we're already at 1,000, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if we're not there yet, help us get there. A little subscribe, a like, a comment, a share goes a long way in the YouTube world. At least that's what I'm learning about. As always, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you again soon.